And I love how, like, when they shoot her just eating a salad, she's perfectly shot. You can hear everything she's saying. She's not... dude, my whole thing goes, everything is...
Who's eating a salad?
Pam Bondi.
Oh, she was eating a salad when she
yeah,
was talking
when
about this?
Veritas or James O'Keefe puts out that video.
What is the video?
The video is her talking about how there's like tens of thousands of videos of him hurting children.
Oh, so that video is...
Comes out like...
So that, but that video is like one of those Veritas type videos.
Yes,
Is
yes.
O'Keefe? O'Keefe
yeah,
did
O'Keefe.
It? Okay,
He's
so
also the one who put out Karen Bass's phone call about her talking. Have you ever heard it? The super creepy...
Bro, that guy gets everything. He gets everything.
Gets everything, dude.
And usually, chatty gay guys.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And all they do is send in some ass, and they'll give away all the secrets.
So I didn't know that that was how that. I only read that she said that there was tens of thousands.
No, she talks about it.
Oh,
in the video.
interesting. Covertly recorded April 28th, revealing previously undisclosed information about Epstein regarding tens of thousands of videos of little kids to a complete stranger in a D.C. restaurant. Okay, well, let's hear what it says. I want to hear how she says it.
Yeah, it's easy to find because it cuts to her in a cafe. You'll find it right there. Just kind of jump. Oh, there it is. That's her talking right there.
Epstein files are going to get released?
We hope soon.
Okay.
So,
any dates?
no, you know what it is? There are tens of thousands of videos.
Yeah.
And it's all with little kids. So they have to go through every one.
In the past, officials have spoken.
Okay. She didn't even say underage girls. She said little kids.
Yeah. And that's a big part. I said this a long time ago, is that they're just trying to set it up so it's like, dude, they're high school chicks. You know, they're hot. And in reality, it's like really, really. And there were statements, I believe, and you can't find it on the internet anymore because, you know, they clean everything up, of like people talking about like what Bill Clinton was fooling around with, and it wasn't little girls, you know. And I've always said this, you know, it's like Bill Clinton is the Andy Dick of the White House. He just sees holes, he wants to hit them, right?
Oh my God.
You know,
You can't say that if you don't know it's true, though.
I just did.
You know he likes to fuck. He was a good-looking guy when he was young, super charismatic. Love them ladies. Which is, listen, that's Kennedy. It's classic presidents. It's just we found out about
bisexual Kennedy, bisexual
That
George.
Kennedy?
Yeah,
They were
100%.
bisexual?
Yeah, but Kennedy was bisexual. George Bush Sr. was
Where are you getting
gay.
this from? Hold the fuck up.
Dog,
Where are you getting this from?
I do deep dives into all this shit.
understand,
Joe,
but
I'm telling you.
Where are you diving?
Dude, I'm telling you, the Finders, you remember the Finders?
Was JFK bisexual? A viral tweet is reigniting speculation. Here's
And he's
the
like,
tea.
yeah, I mean,
Wow.
they're just, he was on speed. He was a
forgotten
tweaker.
queer history.
They're just horny ass people. Woodrow Wilson, they believe they blackmailed him through being gay. I mean, Obama stuff coming out right now. Bill Clinton.
So let's think about that, right? We know that, like, the Spartans were gay, right? We know that they had sex with each other.
Yeah.
You know, it was a big thing. It was
Yeah.
part of, like, why they would go to battle so well. They're fighting for their
Your joke
lovers.
about the samurais?
Yeah.
You know, back in the day about how they were all gay? Because you're going to fight harder if you know that dude got some DSLs, right? You're going to fight way harder. Don't kill Bill. He's the best in the bunker.
Yeah. You're fighting for your lovers.
Yeah, right?
But it's also, like, there's a lot of ancient cultures that think of having sex with women just for procreation, but with boys for fun.
That's Afghanistan.
Exactly. And my friends that have been over there, that have served over there, one of my buddies, I don't know if he said this publicly, so maybe I shouldn't say his name, but just the stories that he told me, I was like, what? Like, how? Like, he was talking about how he saw this truck driver with his son. He thought, like, oh, that's cool, he takes his son to work with him. And the guy goes, that's not his son. Like, that's his toy.
It's called Man Love Thursdays, dude.
Yeah, but
that's
it's
what
not
they call
just
it.
Thursday. It's like...
They go into the mountains.
My friend was telling me that there was this one guy that he worked on this base, and he was kind of slow. Like, he was mentally slow. And he had a colostomy bag. And he heard a bunch of noise and saw a bunch of dudes in the room, like in one of the storage rooms. These guys were fucking his colostomy hole. this old mentally challenged guy.
Yep.
And these dudes were fucking his colostomy hole. He's like, bro.
I just had a guy on right now. This is gonna get weird, but Dom the hypnotist came on, and he was talking about how he has a mentor who he also works with, who was Hillary Clinton's security detail, and they were in Afghanistan. They saw a bunch of kids go in the room and never come out.
What does that mean?
That they like 3 a.m.
This is Bachabazi, right?
Yeah.
This is the kids dancing and shit.
Yep.
That is so sick.
And they were
man.
told like don't interfere with the local customs.
Yeah, but are you implying that they are dead?
I'm implying that he never saw them come out.
Maybe they took a nap. After
Maybe there's another
Hillary
exit
read them
to
a
it.
story, gave them some cookies and milk.
Go to bed. Let them sleep. We gotta check out. Let them sleep. They'll figure it out.
The creepiest idea about pedophilia is that there's people that know about it and cover it up because they don't want to get in trouble for having known about it. Like this is a Sandusky thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean that's essentially what tanked Joe Paterno, right? Like
yeah.
everybody really knew.
Yeah, and they all let it go because they were winning football games, and then Penn State's right back into title contention. But here's the thing, dude. Over time, what they can blackmail you with changes. Like way back in the day, if they thought you were cheating on your wife, they could blackmail you with that. But as culture grows and we start accepting more and more stuff, it's got to get weirder and weirder. You know, back in the, you remember? I mean, we're around the same age. I mean, you remember when we were debating whether Boy George was gay or not, and they were like, right? There was like a real discussion on that. And he's like, no, dude, I pound puss, dude.
How about George Michael?
Yeah,
Same thing.
100%.
He was so beautiful. There's no way he could be straight. His hair was so perfect. His voice was so amazing. That guy's got to be super gay.
Have you seen the Minnesota Vikings male cheerleader? That is the shiniest dude I've ever seen.
Show me this.
Yeah, look, he's a male cheerleader.
Shane was actually just talking about this. Shane was talking about this in the green room the other day.
Yeah, he's shiny, dude.
Shiny? Oh,
he's
my goodness.
So shiny, dude.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he's so... And you can see him, like, on Twitter. He's just, like, dancing around, and he's the shiniest dude you've ever seen in your life.
He's got the skirt. They wear the skirt?
Yeah, there he is in the front row.
Okay.
Cheerleaders are useless anyways. There's really no purpose to them. They don't do anything for the game. It was back in the day, how can we have hot chicks in football?
It's a weird role, and I don't have a problem with a gay guy doing that.
Well, here's my opinion,
like,
dude.
why would I care, right? Like, here's the thing. If you're in a stadium of 16,000 people, how many?
Football's like
bigger?
70,000.
60,000 people.
Right.
Right? I'm thinking about a basketball game. If you're in a football stadium, 80,000 people, how many gays? How many gay guys are in the crowd?
10%. We'll go 10%.
It's probably 10%.
7,000.
Maybe a bunch of them are hiding.
Yeah.
Maybe a bunch
Closeted,
of them are
dangerous
closeted.
people.
But it's always kind of like 1 in 10, right?
Closeted gays can get dangerous, dude.
What's the problem with having one gay cheerleader for them?
You know, here's my whole...
What's the cheerleader for?
You know, there's always going to be the fight. What is the point of a cheerleader?
It's to have an additional visual aspect to it. I like all the flips they do and all the jazz, and it's fun. It's choreographed, and when it's done well, it's entertaining.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
Gary
fun to
Goldman
watch.
has a great bit about it, about what their purpose is to, like, remind the players how important the play is, right? He's like, you know, defense. Oh, dude, we got to play defense, dude, you know?
It's an extra pageantry that adds to the experience. But why shouldn't a gay guy be doing it? Like, how homophobic are guys that are watching that? There's all these hot chicks, and instead they're caught, what's this fucking guy doing in the shorts? There's 16 other girls with perfect bodies you could be paying attention to,
right?
But you're focused on the gay guy.
Yeah, and they always complain about how much money they're making. I'm like, dude, you get to go to the game for free. You're on the field. It's
I think he would have a great reality show. See how they accept him.
And how many down low players are staring at him, dude.
I'm sure.
That's my favorite player.
10% is 10%,
yeah,
right?
10%. So here's my whole thing, dude. You know, there's always going to be culture wars between the right and the left. I'm on nobody's side. Like, I'm on nobody. I'm like in the middle. I'm old school liberal.
Yeah.
Live and let live. As long as you're not hurting people, and particularly children, you'll never hear anything from me. I don't care what you do by yourself with consenting adults. Get as weird as you want.
Yeah.
God gave us free will. Do whatever you want. Pick your path. You know, But when you start to demonize certain people, you're setting up a market for blackmail. So when people can't be themselves and they're so afraid of people finding out who they really are, you're setting it up so people can manipulate them. And that's the story of Washington, D.C. Now, obviously, hurting children, there should never be a time where that's culturally acceptable. But that's why it's had to get so dark, is because we don't care if somebody's gay now. It's like, at least I don't. There's
So
going
do
to be...
you think it's like they just always want to do the forbidden thing? So, like, what would lead someone... Let's get as dark as we can get. What's the darkest? Probably child sacrifice,
hurting,
right?
oh, yeah, 100%.
Child sacrifice. And I think that that's happened before. I don't think that that has not happened in human histories. In fact, I know it's happened because my friend Shane Smith covered it when he was over in Africa when he interviewed that General Butt Naked guy. That guy used to sacrifice children from the enemy tribes before everyone in Liberia. He would sacrifice them and cut open their chest and eat their heart. He would eat a piece of their heart before going into battle.
Dark energy, dude.
Right, but that's a real human being that did that. So we know that he didn't invent that.
Right.
He didn't invent that.
No, I mean, it's in the Bible,
Right.
too. Like when they want to take out the Canaanites and, atheists use that as like, oh, well, he wants to kill all the women and children. What do you think about that? Well, the Canaanites were practicing child sacrifice. There's a reason why. Now, the language, we can get into like the Bible language, especially in the First Testament. Like, is it the language of the time? And they were a lot more blunt with it. But the Canaanites were sacrificing children. I mean, that's a big part of, it goes all the way back to Kronos, to the first god, which is the god of time. And the whole story about it was told that his kids would slay him. So every time his female would have children, he would eat the kids.
Jesus.
Time. Black cube of Saturn. They get weird.
I wonder how they're going to look at some of the things that pharmaceutical drug companies have pushed through in the future and the impact that it had on kids, and whether or not they're going to think of that in a similar way to child sacrifice. Because it really is kind of, if you know that it's causing damage, but you're doing it for money, you kind of sacrificing kids
100%.
for money.
What is this?
How to Stop India's Superstitious Killings Ended in Exile. What's this about, Jamie?
Read the caption there. Oh, just covered up.
Human sacrifice, particularly that of minors, has been prevalent in many parts of India for a long time. Jeez. More than 85 kids, all under 13, were ritualistically murdered in the country in the last 6 years per government data. Last year, there were 14 cases of parents or relatives sacrificing or attempting to sacrifice children on the advice of a sadhu, a holy man.
Oof. Bro, that gets in the program.
How crazy is it that was a part of history? And
It's still happening.
That's what I'm saying. Like that, it's still in 2025. People think that sacrificing a child is the right move. That's what we need to do. We need to sacrifice a child.
Well, that's the whole thing. Kids are the closest to God.
Yeah. When you think about like things like that, like drugs that are pushed on kids, that's just for profit, medications that kids are forced to take that's just for profit, things that are fucking them up where they're, it's just because people want to make money. And how are they going to look at that in the future? When we look at child sacrifice and they were doing voodoo, or they, the Mayans thought they were sacrificing people to the gods, we think of it as barbaric, right? How are they going to look at like what we've done, where we just lied about stuff and skirted around the truth and gave distorted versions of what we're actually selling to kids, and then those kids wind up dying. They wind up having heart attacks. They wind up having cancer. It's probably directly related to this medication. And no one wants to take credit for it. No one wants to admit it. And everyone's making money.
Everything's programming, dude. Even those people in India, their programming of their religion tells them like to sacrifice their own children. I mean, like,
crazy
goes
is it
against
that
everything you're wiring.
Yeah, it's like that's the ultimate control you have over a person. You get them to sacrifice their child.
Right? I mean, if you're at a kids park and a kid's in trouble, it doesn't need to be your kid. You run over to make sure the kid's okay. I've done it 1,000 times.
Right.
But now you have people like, especially like if you look at like what's going on in Gaza, you have people labeling newborns as terrorists. Like that is your programming overriding your basic instinct, which is to protect children at all costs because they are the future.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. So my whole theory is that anxiety and depression and anger and all that stuff comes from when your programming and your reality clash and they don't meet up. You're programming from generational trauma, you're programming from school, all that stuff meets reality, and you start to just go a little crazy. And I think a lot of that is purposeful to get us on pharmaceuticals for life.
You think it's purposeful? So how would they engineer that to happen that way?
Well, first of all, your grandparents, your parents telling you the trauma of your past, beating that into you forever. Like I had my buddy's girlfriend on my show, and she's Jewish, and she was telling me, I go, what's it like to grow up Jewish? And she was telling me that her parents would tell her that she has to have 3 kids, one for each parent, and then 1 kid lost for the Holocaust, for someone lost in the Holocaust. And like, think about that programming, dude. Think about what that over and over and over again, and to the point now where you're like, well, you know, these kids in Gaza are terrorists. I mean, newborn babies are terrorists. I mean, that is heavy stuff. I mean, I've heard about the Armenian genocide my whole life, to the point I got a tattoo right here about it. You know, like that is your programming. Then you go to school and it's been infiltrated by all these cultural Marxists, and they're just pushing this thing to get you to hate your own country, hate the establishment, hate all this stuff. So you have this entire country where everybody's fighting with each other. And that's all done to cause, maximum chaos, because people are easy to manipulate and control when they're in anxiety. They're going to demand, like this whole thing with like taking over Washington, D.C. right now. Everyone acts like this has just started. This started way back with BLM, defund the cops. This has always been the goal. It's called pressure from above, pressure from below. You're afraid to go on the streets, and you have no faith that your politicians are going to save you. So you have no hope. So you're completely and utterly lost, and you're just demanding that you be kept safe, which is the ultimate goal, which is martial law. That's what they want, and that's what they've been doing. And it isn't starting in Washington, D.C. This has started a while ago. If you study all these different kind of cultural clashes, that starts with BLM, that's black people. Then you go January 6th, that's white people. Then you go to Asian hate, that's Asian people. Then you go to No Kings, that's Latinos. And now you have the Supreme Court that is going to debate the legality of gay marriage. And if you go, Sam, what do you think's going to happen? I wouldn't doubt if they overturn it, because that's going to cause even more chaos. The streets are going to be burning in rainbows, dude. And then that is what they want, martial law. There's all these these judges who are completely politicized are like releasing people who are hurting kids or murdering people. That means you have no faith in the system, and that grows your anxiety. Now all of a sudden you're angry, you're depressed, and you don't trust anything. And now you want to basically give up your God-given rights to be safe, and that is the goal. Pressure from above, pressure from below for Marxists. If you ever want to watch a doc on it, it's really old. It's in '69. I watched it last night on Twitter. It's G. Edward Griffin, and it's called The Capitalist Conspiracy. I've sent it to a bunch of people. I can't get anybody to watch this thing. And it breaks it down, dude. There was famous cases in the 50s and 60s where kids were like radical communists on the campuses, and they said that something's going wrong here, and they broke off, and they testified in front of either Congress or Senate, and they basically said the goal is to basically bring in martial law. And these kids who all think they're raging against the machine, they don't realize the machine is funding all of this stuff. It's like the No Kings.
Right.
The Latinos are really smart. Like when Eddie and I do shows all the time, there's tons of Mexicans, tons of Latinos in the crowd. They get conspiracies. So when No Kings was happening in LA, there were like gang leaders who told their entire block nobody can go to these things, because they all found out it was funded by the Walmart heir. Like that's what always happens. The billionaires fund these kind of radical groups to sow chaos.
Well, also because they don't want that kind of crackdown on illegal immigration. Like, there's a lot of people who don't want that kind of crackdown.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay anything.
Well, there's that, and they're already hiring people that are illegals, and they have them working in their factories and working in their businesses. I mean, and then there's also the dispute about SNAP, about cutting back on Medicaid and SNAP, and like who do you have to pay benefits to, who do you not have to pay benefits to. That was one of the things that this guy was telling me about. Someone told him that he had a conversation with someone who said he's really upset they're stopping illegal immigration because it's a big part of what he uses for his business. And he was like open about it. And he was saying that he does it because he doesn't have to pay them benefits. You can pay them less and you don't have to pay them benefits. Like, he was just saying it out loud, you know? So that was part of the thing too, of letting people into the country. There was like, you need more of a supply of people that are willing to do the construction jobs and the, you know, the slaughterhouse jobs, like jobs that nobody wants to work in the slaughterhouse.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
that's.
But I also hear them always say Americans don't want to do this job, and then my fat ass is going to fucking Wendy's at 11 p.m. and I'm ordering a chicken sandwich. The guy handing me the bag is 55 years old. I mean, Americans want to work. That's a whole psyop that they don't want to do some of these jobs.
Sure, but those jobs are brutal, backbreaking labor, right? If you're picking vegetables, if you're, you're working in a fucking slaughterhouse, dude, that's a brutal job. You're around rotten meat all day.
Yeah, I get
it's
that.
Freezing cold. You're cutting things up. You're covered in blood. You're just around death all day long. Death is supposed to be something you occasionally see. You fucking kiss it to the sky, thank God for the deer, and then you go. You're not supposed to see slaughter 24
Avatar
hours a
that
day.
shit,
That's
right?
crazy. That's like not normal for a human being.
And what's really weird is how, like, I've seen so much death in movies that when I see a dead person, which I think the first time I saw a dead person, I would be incredibly shocked. I remember I was driving